All right, good evening. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting. Let's start. One stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic with which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first thing, before we accept the agenda, I need to do one change, one addition. Under 8C, we're going to add a request for waiver of bid requirements on a purchase for Public Works for the body of one of our big trucks. So I'll explain when we get there, but we need to add that today. There's some urgency to getting the purchase done. So if I could have a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, abstentions, motion passes. Very, very good. Has everyone reviewed the minutes of our last meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
But everybody, I know.
I saw no changes, no errors, no omissions. Anyone want to make the motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as submitted.
As submitted?
I'll second it.
All right, Tim seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion passes. Communication. So I have a guest here for tonight. I'd like everyone to introduce Jason Baracco was a new Public Works Director. I wanted to bring him here and have him introduce himself to you if you guys have any questions. But this is day 3. Come on up. We've had a long process in finding him. He's done a great job so far. I'm really proud of what he's going to do. Lots of expectations, but I'm looking forward to this. So.
Good evening, gentlemen. I don't know if you have any questions for me, but I come from municipal background.
You
Was
can introduce yourself with your name. There'll be people watching this.
Jason Morocco,
Yes.
Morrocco.
Thank you.
Come from municipal background, was with the city of Bristol for 18 years, worked my way up from kind of the low guy all the way up to a project manager in engineering. Definitely used to how municipal government works, a little different with a board of selectmen instead of a mayor and a city council, but I'm pretty sure I can weather the storm as the days, months, and years go on. Doors always open if you guys need anything, comments, concerns, please reach out. I'll try to do my best to get you an answer or find out what the answer is. And if you have any ideas of how to move things forward, please, I'll gladly take the ideas.
I know.
Thank you.
So a couple things, Rhino Halpern, who's been helping us since he left, and went somewhere else. He's been very helpful since then. He'll continue to work with Jason in terms of transitioning. I think that's going to be a big help. I know Mike is working with you as well. Mike Lestrino.
Yep.
Is working closely with you as well. So we have a number of projects in town. We're getting up to speed on all of them. There's a lot of things in motion. I've had a chance to meet him and discuss over the last maybe month or two. So I've got a real good feeling about the months ahead. A lot to do, but I have a lot of confidence in what he can do. So
Big shoes to fill.
big shoes to fill. You're the guy to do it, though. Any questions for him?
No, just as I said when we met the other day, welcome. So I'm glad to have you aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I'm a fellow Bristolite by birth.
We won't hold it against you.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, we didn't know that about you, Rick.
I came from Bristol before Portland.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Public comments. Anything online? Anything, Andrea? Nothing, huh? Very, very nice. Old business. Do we have anyone online for the Committee on Solidarity report? No?
They just posted minutes recently.
Okay.
I know they had stuff going on.
Gotcha. No? What's that?
Laurel, she's usually Board of
She's
Ed.
the-
Yes, Board of Ed,
Library
yeah.
Board of Ed.
So, all right. If they come on later, let us know. All right. Appointments to boards and commissions. I think we have one.
I have one, yeah. I'd like to nominate Susan Bransfield to the America 250 in the position intended for the Historical Society.
I'll second that.
Okay. Discussion. I think,
I just have a question. Will this be an additional member on
No,
the committee?
no, there was a resignation over the last 2 weeks. So we can leave the committee at its original size.
Yes.
Oh,
We
okay,
considered doing that, if we hadn't
Yeah.
had the, but this is a better thing for us.
yeah, all right,
You know,
great.
And I think Susan is enthusiastic. She brings a great deal of experience. I think it'll be a real good addition. to
I'm
Jen.
sorry, I missed the meeting because I remember I nominated the other individual and that was specific historical society position.
Right, right. Absolutely. All right, no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Very, very good. All right, someone think about who wants to volunteer, but we have a proclamation. Jen from the library sent us a proclamation about library card sign-up month. Who would like to read this?
Sure.
And,
I think I have that.
It's stapled on.
Are you looking for a motion for us to adopt it or just for?
I think just to read, I don't think we need a motion for this. I don't believe so,
All right.
just to read the proclamation.
All right, sorry. So the motion, I mean, the resolution is titled Request for Waiver of Bid Requirement. Oh, no, that's the,
Oh,
where's the other one?
The proclamation.
It's the purple one.
Second chance.
See, now if I had known it was this long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No, the proclamation is titled Library Card Sign Up Month, right? We're good now.
Yes.
All right, whereas libraries are foundational to education, imagination, and opportunity, offering everything from early literacy programs to digital tools that support lifelong learning and personal growth for all segments of their communities. And whereas libraries welcome all people, serving as inclusive and accessible community hubs that can connect individuals across cultures, generations, and experiences. And whereas library programs, displays, and materials serve as resources for voluntary inquiry, the dissemination of information and ideas, and the promotion of free expression and the free access to ideas. And whereas libraries curate collections and design programs that reflect the diversity of the populations they serve, ensuring equitable access to information, technology, and culture for all. And whereas libraries help individuals navigate life's challenges by providing trusted information and digital access. And whereas in times of both crisis and calm, libraries and their staff remain steadfast in supporting and strengthening their communities. And whereas library resources help households save money, reduce waste, and make sustainable choices, all through the simple power of shared public good. And whereas a library card opens doors to endless possibilities, from books and technology to lifelong learning and imagination. And whereas the Portland Library aspires to be the heart of the community, a space that is accessible, adaptable, and responsive to the personal and professional needs of its diverse users. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Michael A. Pelton, First Selectman of the Town of Portland, Connecticut, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 as Library Card Sign Up Month, and encourage all residents to sign up for a Portland Library Card and explore the endless possibilities it offers. And witness whereof I do set my hand and cause the seal of Portland to be affixed this 20th day of August in the year 2025. Signed, Michael A. Pelton, First Selectman, Town of Portland, and the Board of Selectmen, John H. Dillon, Michael S. Hernandez, Robert W. Hetrick Jr., Edward J. Shart Jr., Timothy E. Lavoy, and James K. Tripp.
second that.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We have to vote on it or not?
We vote on it or just no?
I don't think we need to.
No, it's just a
No, just
Yeah, I think
reading
we're
it.
okay though, but I appreciate the second one. Jen would appreciate that too.
Jen, I know.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Yeah.
I just renewed my card about a month ago.
Has
You're
everyone
we're always
volunteered?
I know.
No, and I know it goes without saying, but she does a great job down there. Her team is awesome. They do a lot down there for the community, so we love what they do.
They just finished their inventory.
Yes, they just, they count a lot of things, so. Very, very good. All right. To 8B, refunds of excess payments. Bob, you're on.
Make a motion for a refund of excess payments for Robert C. Webster Jr., $54.54.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion passes.
Motion for a refund of excess payment, Winthrop Financial Resources LLC, $48.60.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
abstention, motion passes.
Motion for a refund of excess payment, William S. Sanborn Senior, $146.72.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion passes.
Motion for a refund of excess payment, Constance A. Ricci, $460.93.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion passes.
Motion for a refund of excess payment for Brendan P. Levesque, $23.14.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
passes.
Motion for a refund of excess payment, Driven Enterprises, Inc., $83.31.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion passes. Excellent. We keep this speed going to the end. All right, next thing that we added to it was a bid waiver. If you read the bid waiver form in there, the background on this is we have one of our big trucks. We don't want to buy a new one. The actual engine, and most of it is good. We just need to get the truck body. The company that does that, that is the best for it, is one brand that we needed to get them down to below $82,000 to get it within budget. They did that recently. I'd like to do the waiver because they are the ones that Mike and the team feels is the best one. They have experience with this truck. They're the ones that know it best. This material would fit best for the truck, and we want to waive the bid requirements going forward.
That's a question, Mike. You said we had to get down to 82.
Right, I was gonna ask.
Same
the
question.
question.
It's
So-
84.9 on it.
So with, the 84.9 here, part of the bid on that for part of it was we had to get it below 82 on there. The total that we have enough funds to do the 84, but one big part of the bid, we had to get it below 82,000 for the main part of the,
For the dump body.
And
It's
is
for the
that
dump
so that
body.
we can do the salt computer?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
So, but.
Oh, and the additional salt dispensing computer brought it up?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. So, but the total would have been above, for the body. So this worked out.
I see.
All right.
We have the funds?
But we do,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So funds are available. The pricing is close across the board, but this gets us what we need. And it's been a long time coming also. I know you and Mike have talked about it.
It was in capital 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
long time. So,
I'll
Right.
move it if you want me to read it.
please, if you could.
Resolution Board of Selectmen, Town of Portland, Connecticut, dated August 2025. Request for waiver of bid requirements, truck parts and sales of Connecticut. Whereas the Town of Portland Highway Department is in need to purchase a replacement dump body on a truck that still has considerable useful life. Whereas the Public Works Department has received a quote from the original truck builder needed to match the existing body components that will remain in order to have the truck operate in a similar safe manner as our other town trucks. And whereas a quote for furnishing and installing the new replacement dump body and necessary components and an additional salt dispensing computer came in at $84,935 from Truck Parts and Sales of Connecticut. And now therefore be it resolved that in the best interest of the town pursuant to section 1708 subsection 7 of the Portland Charter, the Board of Selectmen hereby waives the bidding requirements of section 1208 of the Portland Town Charter as pertains to utilizing Truck Parts and Sales of Connecticut as the vendor to furnish and install the new replacement dump body and necessary components and an additional salt dispensing computer. And be it further resolved that the Board of Selectmen authorizes First Selectman Michael Pelton to act on behalf of the town of Portland to enter into any and agreements related to these repairs improvements.
I'll second that.
Second. Any further discussion?
How soon will this be able to happen?
If you want to come up, if you can sit up.
Jason Morocco again. Mike and I talked to Kim Pelletier, with the truck builder, and pretty much he said as soon as he gets it down there, he'll work on it here and there. We joked around and said hopefully by December 31st we'd get it back, and he said yes. We know that's not true, but I would like to get it down there as soon as we can.
So you thinking maybe end of the year? Early next?
Yeah, probably early next year.
I know it's a lot of
But
record.
is this critical for the winter season?
No, we already, according to Mike, we already knew the truck was gonna be down, so it's not figured into the trucks that we need to plow. So right now, it's okay.
So he's made accommodations.
We made it, yep.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay.
Good question. Any other questions at all? All right, let's call for the
And
vote.
that would
All
also
those in
mean that we have 4 trucks now with that same body. This will make the 5th one the fifth one, so they'll all go hand in hand.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Jason. I appreciate that. All right, you ready for the vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. All right, Jason, you
Okay, good night,
too.
Jason.
Thank you very much. All right, number 9, status and committee reports. We'll start from my left. Jim, do you have anything that you're?
Yeah, so we had, I went this week, I was able to go to the Parks and Rec meeting, at least the first half of it. And there was an interesting discussion that was going on. The Little League came in and they requested from Parks and Rec to consider modifying the fields at the Portland Rec Complex. And specifically to look at removing the pitching mounds and using portable mounds and removing the infield grass, basically skinning the fields so that they would be able to play not only Little League baseball, but the girls would be able to play softball. And there's a debate, there's obviously, there was a debate within the commission, in terms of how would this impact, future tournaments, how would this look from the cost, how would it work from the cost standpoint, all of those things that were coming up. The way it was basically headed when I had to step out for another meeting, but where it looked like that meeting was headed was that the Parks and Rec folks were going to look into what the cost would be to understand those. And there was some homework that the Little League had to do to come back and to answer some of the questions that the commission asked. So there was nothing resolved and nothing proposed yet to come to, to this body, for example, for a discussion in terms of funding or anything like that. But it was, that discussion was going on. Yes, sir.
Do you know what the difference is in the field for Little League versus softball?
They said that the base paths and all that would be the same.
all exactly the same.
The biggest difference is that the pitcher's mound for the girls softball is closer, right? It's 46 inches, I believe, for the Little League
And it's
baseball.
not mounded
They don't
either.
throw from
And
the mound.
it's flat, right? You remove the mound and you pitch from a closer spot with the softball.
Why tear up the infield?
They,
Grass.
because typically they say that the girls, the softball is typically played on a skin field, and part of the concern they've got is that they said that the infield as it sits today doesn't give true bounces. Basically, it sounds like it would probably even need to start getting rolled or basically flattened a little bit more, but they've, because of the grass, you don't necessarily on a grass infield get the same true bounces as you would on, say, a clay. Well, in this case, we have a clay infield or a stone dust infield, right, when it's been properly.
Let me ask
Yeah.
a converse question.
Yeah.
Because in college, I did Park and Rec and I did the baseball fields.
Yeah.
So I clearly remember
Yeah.
that the Little League field had a grass infield.
Yeah.
And I also know that the daughter that played Portland High softball, that they do play on a clay infield.
Yeah,
Is Little League allowed to play on a clay infield?
they are.
Because I don't think I've seen too many.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
that was-
Good question.
That's, what's interesting is when the park was being developed, one of the requests in order to be able to have tournaments was to have the grass infield, right? So that's why that was built into the spec to be able to host tournaments. And that's actually the way that it was designed. So I think that was one of the questions that they had to go back with, is
Yeah.
like, how would that impact that, right? Now that we've, the scoreboards have been added, I think the last piece that I was aware of that we probably would have to add would be to complete the fences all the way down. But that was all part of the discussion.
I remember in a pinch, the high school girls softball team used to play at Tomaso Field, which was a grass infield, but I know they did that was
Yeah.
when they had the need to.
Yeah, and part of the debate is that,
That's where the, yeah. it's-
part of the debate is that there are sufficient facilities for the girls softball today. However, the rec complex is considered like a premier place to play, right? You've got the concession stand and all that, so trying to make it so that it works, so that all of the kids playing youth sports can get that experience, right? That's pretty much what that was part of what they were talking
It's a
about.
difficult question.
So there's more to follow. They don't, they need to identify the costs. They need to identify, the other parts to make sure they understand what the impacts for Little League can be.
Are we talking loud enough?
Basically.
Okay.
Alright.
From- I was told that we're soft talkers in here. sometimes.
That's a first.
That, I was gonna say, I don't usually get that complaint.
Jim, do you know how many baseball versus softball teams are in Portland?
I can't remember the exact number, but the number, like the girls softball has been growing. And actually, I believe the Little League as well. So it's, I
I
believe
think
it was up to,
6 softball.
yeah, yeah, there's more games going. Well, I think they were looking at having 2 games. It might be like 5.
Mhm.
And I think they were looking at the fact that they may have 2 games on a weekend. Because that was part of the discussion is what's the actual usage demand, right? And it wasn't really, a requirement to have a field to play on. It's just a way to enable them to be able to play at that complex. That's what the real discussion is.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Any more questions on, or we good? All right.
No.
So water and sewer, few things. One, Coab pump station, right? That's looking at it. They had done the work on that a while ago. They were having a problem where they basically were getting a banging noise, during certain, like when pumps would come on and off. The issue is actually they found a defective, check valve. So they're working now to get that check valve replaced. And aside from that, they've got to do some work to finish the fencing in the area and finish up the landscaping. So the project's getting closer, but they got to fix that defective part. They did report that they had a water main break on High Street between Carlson and Williams. Probably right, may have impacted some folks here. And then the other part that was, we had an understanding that we were being held up from being able to do the 5-day pump down test because we were told there was a requirement to get a permit for that. And we actually got a letter that apologizing that was not the case. The permit that's required was actually for something else, was actually to begin design work, I believe, on the filtration based on the water quality. And I say filtration, the treatment, because we're looking at only having to do softening. But there is no permit required, so they're working on scheduling the 5-day pump down to do the larger testing. The last status that I had on that is that the pump that we used for the 48-hour used a pump that was capable of 1,000 gallons a minute. And so we, with really very little drawdown, right, a 50-foot drawdown in the water column, we were able to pump, and that was stable. We were able to pump 1.44 million gallons a day. They're looking to get a larger pump, a higher capacity pump, to test the sort of like try to get an idea of the upper limits of that. Would we be able to get, for example, 1.92 million gallons a day and try to go after that for reference standpoint and so what the impacts were. So, which I think is a good thing, right? For our long-term impacts and potentially being able to grow the system, that's a good place for us to go. So that's all I got.
Jim, I got a question talking about water. Is the town well back online yet?
It's not yet. Per Michael, they're still waiting on the motor. It's still en route. I guess they've had some delays at that end. He expected it within the week. So by middle to the end of next week, we should have it. He said once we get it, they'll install it in 24 hours.
Yeah, Mike, the other thing that we talked about in the water and sewer meeting with that was that they're waiting for the new pump to come in, right, to repair it. But we should take the old pump that when it comes out, and that should get rewound. So we have a spare pump on site, right? We shouldn't be sitting here having to wait 3 or 4 weeks to get a part. And that's also instructive when we get the new well online. We want to make sure we've got long lead items like that. We've got something sitting in the background. In this case, what we'll have is a brand new pump that's going to go into the well. And then if we get the other one basically rebuilt, then we'll have a rebuilt pump sitting as a backup.
Absolutely.
I have a question. The dry weather we've been having.
Yeah.
Is that going to adversely affect or in any way affect the testing, the 5-day test? Like, do we have to wait till we get some more rainfall or?
That, we didn't talk about that last week. I mean, we had to make sure you had appropriate conditions.
Yeah.
For us to run the 48-hour to make sure you could detect, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming the same will be true on the 5-day, but I don't know whether or not we've hit a point yet in the fall where we can't do that.
Cause it's the balance, right? You can't have it so much water
Right.
that you can't detect if there's a drawdown anywhere. But you can't have it so dry that you know, also, so the same problem, right? You can't,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. I don't, I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there to something we should be aware of if we continue in this dry path.
Oh, yeah, GCA is very well aware of that. I
Okay.
mean, unfortunately, we're getting a little bit of rain today and,
Yeah.
so.
Maybe some,
And we got so much rain earlier this year that, you know, we.
probably.
Yeah. But,
Doesn't take much to get the lawns, have the lawns burn up.
no, the good news is though, is with the results from the 48 hours showed that there was no impact, really detected from any of the monitoring, you know, around. It actually showed that strata of water that we're tapping into, is not impacting the other, you know, for example, the town well. They're definitely two distinct strata of water.
Yeah, the test results could have been better.
They could not, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than I think the softness test, right, was about 120 versus
versus-
they would want it at 45, so we gotta have to treat. You know, even that's not absurdly high, it's kind of borderline, but we would still want to have that treatment in place.
But easy to correct.
Easy,
That's
easy to
the
correct,
only treatment.
and
That's-
exactly, and that's the only treatment right now. The PFAS, and all that, there was nothing detectable at all from a PFAS perspective. Everything, all the rest of the water quality tests were really good.
Any other questions? For Jen? One other thing too, congratulations to you, Tom and Andy on the concert series. Fantastic. The turnout seemed to be the best of any year that I've attended. And I've attended most of them. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's always great to see that many people come out.
Yeah.
And I think this was, I'd have to go back and check the records, but this was like, I think either the 13th or 14th season, somewhere in that ballpark. And, you know, it's only been maybe one or two other times that we've been able to get through a season without a rain, without
Yeah.
bumping any for rain, so. We had the opposite problem. We had a couple of days, we had to have the cooling station out, but,
100%.
no, it was lucky.
That was great.
But it was great to see so many people out.
And Greg Rose.
Oh, yes.
He's very much
Absolutely.
involved, so.
We always want to know. And then we'll start planning 2026 shortly.
There you go.
So,
Perfect. All right, John?
One quick item, I attended a Board of Education special meeting last night, short agenda, there were two items on it. First was a unanimous approval of the new Dean of Students / Athletic Director. His name is Jeffrey Marino. Amazing guy, it would seem. There was a long list of candidates. They explained how they cut through that list in the interview process, and they actually, which I thought was quite interesting, they actually had focus groups that met with all the the top remaining candidates. Teachers had a focus group, students had a focus group, and parents had a focus group. And they read a written comment last night from, I believe she's an upcoming sophomore, from her meeting with Jeffrey Marino, and I mean, her write-up was eloquent. He's a great guy. He brings a lot of experience. He was an English teacher. He's done an awful lot in fields of study and hands-on work with students. So he said he worked with a group of students that had kind of fallen through the cracks in a program. He's an athlete too, so I immediately thought of The Rock and the Gridiron Gang. If you ever saw the movie where he takes a bunch of troubled youth and puts them on a football team and gives them the services they need. But they was also said he's a D1 football player. He played for Central and was actually the captain of the team for 3 years and was a coach himself. So he brings a lot to the table. And he was asked a question. You realize that being the athletic director of the middle school and the high school can be very time consuming. How much time do you think it's going to take? Do you think you have the time? Because he had his family with him. He's talking about his family being important. And I thought his response was really amazing. And basically he said, I'm not going to answer how much time it takes. He says, my job is to make sure that every kid gets the best that I can give them. They become the best student they can, the best athlete they can. And that's what it means to me. So I was very impressed. Nice guy.
Change.
And then the other thing they spoke about is they unanimously approved a new Portland High School student cell phone policy. And actually, they did say it also applies to teachers. But basically, everyone will be asked to power their cell phones down when school starts and power them back up when they leave the school. The PHS principal said, you know, she longs for the days when she can walk through the cafeteria lunch hour and hear the kids talking instead of looking at each other on their cell phones across the table. So it was two very interesting items last night, but I think two worthwhile. Good meeting.
So they're not gonna put them in a pouch or have them,
The way
hand it
she
in
spoke
front
about
of
it now, they're
classrooms
just gonna
or-
ask that they power them down,
Yeah.
and they hope that majority of students will
Yeah.
do what they're supposed to, and she said, you know, that she anticipates a small group, maybe a little more difficult at first, but we'll get there.
yeah.
And she's actually spoken with parents about it too, and I guess from what'll happen the first time is if it happens, if they have their cell phone in use, the cell phone will be taken, they'll pick it up at the end of school. And then if it happens again,
Yeah,
I
the
think
parent
they have
has
to
to
bring
come
their
get it.
parent in to pick it up. And I thought it was funny. One of the parents apparently in talking about this said, well, why would we want to go pick it up? But it's, I knowing when any of us go out to a restaurant, anything now, you see people sitting, all they're doing is on their cell phone, so. I think it's good, it's gonna be interesting how they roll it out, but there were two very interesting issues last night.
It's great.
Thank you.
It's good. Anything?
Yeah, I wasn't able to attend, but I got filled in. River Access Committee met last night. And they're looking to, well, Mike, you may already have heard this. Lou Pear, the chairman's, would like possibly electronic copy of the bid papers, rows of, and a map
Yes.
of the area. Okay. And then one of the things he feels they should kind of get on is, and we probably have to talk to Jacobson about this, is secure we're supposed to have a professional environmentalist there for supervision of the, make sure the silt fencing is proper and, you know, that they're staying away from the restricted areas. And then Lou mentioned that we've got to find out, again, probably from Jacobson, who can do the muscle relocation.
Yes.
And maybe rather than waiting till cold weather is here,
Maybe do
that
it.
do it sooner rather than later, because we know where the access point is gonna be to the river. They have a dumpster coming for the September, I think it's September 27th, the last Saturday of September. There's gonna be a Connecticut River Conservancy Source to Sea river cleanup, and we registered the our site. And they offered to give us a dumpster, which
Right.
Lou's gonna, depending on if any work has started yet, we'll determine where we locate it. Obviously, they want to get it as close to the river site where there's still debris.
Yes.
And pardon me, because I have all these notes on my phone. I didn't have a chance to, and then once, at some point, at first he was thinking in September, but then I told him I was gonna be away. They want to have a groundbreaking ceremony, possibly on Saturday, October 11th. So, I mean, we have time to talk about that. And, they're gonna have their next meeting on October 7th. And they would like you to attend if
Right.
possible.
Absolutely. So we got a schedule.
Okay, so things are finally happening down there. And hopefully we can get a good turnout for September 27th. We had, I think 15 people last year. And they'd like to get the rest of the kind of heavy debris that was down there. That was more than just plastic bottles and little cans. There's pretty good sized stuff that,
Yeah. Get windows and other.
yeah,
stuff.
some
Kayak.
windows, God knows why there's window frames down there, but, and there's an old canoe and I think in a kayak and, you know, some stuff like that. So, but
We pulled in the quarries, I mean, we pulled
well, I'm sure.
TVs and, you know,
Oh,
I mean,
I-
it was crazy, some of the stuff that was.
Yeah, I swear the Connecticut shoreline or river coastline was a dumping ground all up and down New England.
People looking for hiding holes, yeah.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
100%. All right. Thank you very much. I have about a dozen things. I'll go quickly because I know we're flying on the meeting today. Spa update. I got a chance to talk to Nick today and get an update on the project. I don't know if you guys have gone
Oh, the
by there
spa.
for the spa, the Nordic Spa.
Look like there's a lot of earth moving.
They are blasting and moving a lot of rock and doing a lot of work down there, doing a lot of the groundwork. Every day they've got multiple of trucks there moving stuff around. It's great. They're very happy with the progress. They've been blasting pretty regularly for the last 4 or 5 days. We've gotten very few complaints about that, and I appreciate that. A couple people that are close by have noticed it. There's been some shaking, but they notified all those people within the range of the blast to let them know. They sent letters out to them. I've also spoken to some neighbors on one of the close streets to let them know what's happening. But they've been good neighbors about it. The spa's been good about keeping them informed, as have I, but there's been very few issues with that. I was worried about that one before they started. So, but that's going well. They didn't give me any specific dates as to when they think they will open, but the original plan was about 18 months from when they started, which puts it sometime next January, a year from January. I bet him that they might be able to do it a little bit sooner at the pace that they're going, but they don't want to get too far ahead of it, but they're feeling good about the progress. We did talk a little bit about parking. I know one of the issues I talked about before was they were interested in doing parking in the upper parking lot there. I let them know earlier today that we can't lock that parking lot up. We need to make sure that our parking is important. It's available to the public kind of across the board. So I'm going to ask the members of the board here, whoever's interested, I do want to look into parking in our downtown area kind of across the board. So I don't know if we did form a committee or just an action group, but I want to explore that and see where we could add or kind of embellish the parking that we have right now. So I want to start with the upper parking lot and just work our way all the way down the downtown area. So those that are interested, please see me afterwards. Let's start looking at that, but it's a bigger problem as we're expanding with Brainerd Place and with the spa and with other things going on, the concert series in the summer, other activities. Parking is going to be more and more precious. So, I know I've looked under the bridge. We used to do parking there, other places in town, expanding the upper parking lot. And there's a lot of places that we could look at, but I think we should look at it comprehensively. So again, let me know whoever's interested in pursuing that, but I think now's a good time. The spa knows that we can't lock that up. But we do want to accommodate as much as we can because they are spending between $40 and $50 million with us. And they've been really good so far with everything. And they understand that. So they said they'll work with us on whatever we need to do to make sure that it works for everybody. So that was really good. So a couple of things, crack sealing. Bob, you brought it up about a week or two ago. He suggested that we should crack seal before the school started. We didn't have specific funds for that. So Bobby suggested we asked the Board of Ed, and they were more than happy to provide the product to us. They bought the crack seal, and Mike and his team are putting it down now. What part of the parking lot are they doing now? I know you talked to Mike.
They were doing the high school side and then around by the tennis courts.
Right, and they got 2 pallets of that, so I think that's pallet 1. They may not get everything. I'll use both pallets before the school starts, but they want to get most of it done. So that's great. So nice to see that. Everyone here hasn't been shy about reaching out to me on things we can do better or things that we could do to improve, save money. Please continue doing that. I'm juggling as many things as I can, but you guys have a lot more insight into what's going on out there that maybe I don't see. So continue doing that. I really appreciate that kind of feedback, and that kind of helps. So thank you very much. Want to give a shout out to our first intern in Portland. I think for a long time. I don't know if Sue's ever had one. That young boy, Liam Rowe. He's going to be a senior in about another week or so, week and a half. He's actually, I think he was filming last night at a Board of Ed meeting.
He was there last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fine young man. His parents allowed us to borrow him over the summertime. He was very helpful in the town hall in terms of helping with projects. His response to town government after day one was there's a lot of filing involved. And I told him, yes, there is. Yes, there is. We're
Well, the
trying to
bigger
work-
question is why is there so much?
And
on-
why is there, so yeah, he gave that look in his eyes. So, but no, he was great though. So he helped with a lot of scanning, a lot of work. We kind of floated him around the departments. The highest bidder got him for the day. He also went out and visited on some sites, did some complaints and some blight calls and some other visits, for some things with the building department. But all in all, it was a really good 6 or 7 weeks. Was proud to have him. I think he learned a lot. I think starting next year, I'd like to continue this. I may ask for a small budget. We stole it from Pete's budget on his side of it. But anyways, but it worked out really well. It was a partial pay and partial free. So we gave him some money, partially as a part-time job, but he was there for probably 30 to 40 hours a week. And anything above 15 or 20 was on him. So, it worked out very well, but he did a great job. I was very proud to have him there. I think he was shocked at both how much we got done with the people that we have, and how much paper there's still involved. So anyway, so nice job, Liam. River access. The River Access Project, we just opened the bids a couple days ago, and I'm proud to announce that Butler won the bid for that. So we're working on the paperwork right now. We've done work with them before. It couldn't have been a better contractor for us for a lot of reasons. We've worked closely with them before. We could probably negotiate how much work that we can do as a town versus what he does. There was a money concern about the project too, because it was a big ask to get all the way to the river. We've modified plans to do that. We've talked to the state and told them what we want to do. They've agreed to let's make the changes that'll get us to there. I know we want to keep Lou and Riz and Rick and everyone happy to get us down to there, hopefully by the end of the year, but they're on board. And I talked to him 2 days ago, and Dan is psyched about it as well. So it was close. We had a lot of bidders for that. I think we had 17 or 18 total bidders. Biggest bid group that we had in a long time. And there were some really good ones as well, but he got it. We're looking
He
forward to
was
it.
the low,
He was a low bid.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a low bid. And we have a lot of material that he might be able to use that we have. So there's just a number of ways it's going to help us out. So if I had to bet now, I would say that we'll have that finished into the river by end of November. And I think I think the current contract allows us, without extending it, I think till December 8th, I think is the date. So I think we could beat that date. So anyways, and we already have a vendor for the fence. So this part was the second part of the two parts.
Was there, I can't remember, was there anything in the bid where they actually, do anything at the water line? Like
So
any sort of material or,
there isn't.
Okay.
We
I
may
got
be
some
able to add
ideas.
all that. We may be able to, if we save money with Butler, we may be able to add that in. So that's what I'm excited about, is that we might have some flexibility. We may have like $20,000 to $30,000 extra if we do it right to apply to something
Okay.
like that. So I know at River's Edge or close to that, it is important.
yeah, because it gets a little muddy down there.
Right.
And
right.
if we could get some sort of like waffle blocks or something
Yeah.
in the sand so that and sand will fill in around it, but at least it'll be like a base
Right.
instead of muck. Well, we can talk
Yeah,
about
if
that.
there's any
another time.
contractors out there that want to donate, we'd be happy to.
Yeah.
have them come.
I've been looking at small boat launches now as I travel around to get some ideas.
We do have a lot of marinas. Maybe they might be able to donate something.
Yeah,
Or help us
yeah.
out with that. So I think collectively, as a team, we could figure out a way to make that happen. So anyways, but I feel very, very, very motivated by that as well. Speaking of Dan and Butler, we are working our way with the airline trail through Dan's property. We had a great meeting with them about 2-3 weeks ago, but more importantly, we just recently met with Eversource. Our trail kind of stopped at the Eversource line through Dan's property because of issues with the plan that we put forth last year. They said no to it about 7-8 months ago, right before I came in here. And that was a sticking point. We finally got Eversource on the line. They brought an engineer on the conference call. Your brother was actively involved in talking to him. So the way that meeting went couldn't have been better. Eversource is willing to work with us to help us guide our way through their property. That was the sticking point before. Once we get through there, getting through Dan's property has already been decided. We're going to go through the front. So it gets us through there and on our way. Again, I want to keep Riz, I want to keep Lou happy with this. But more importantly, the whole loop trail, some of you have the updated loop trail information. We're an important part of that. We don't want to break down there. I'm hoping in the next couple months, and talk to your brother and see if you can push him even harder. You know, at dinner times and stuff like that, whatever works. But anyways, but
I
we,
don't know how much I gotta have to give them, but.
there you go. Let us know what we can do to help. But anyways, but that's a good sign. So they're working with us. They're happy about it. And I think that's gonna be, that was what stopped us. So, thank you, Eversource, for your help, and we appreciate it.
Are you planning on talking to Dairy Queen
Yes,
Caselli?
yes, yeah.
Well-
I haven't let him know that yet, because I was waiting until the plan was formed and approved, because at that point, the complication is we may have to do some serious engineering to make it work, so it works with their power lines and where the structures are, and the actual terrain is kind of challenging. So there may be more funds needed to kind of build our way through that. So we also have to work out and look at where we're getting funds from. But because Eversource is involved, they said they would help and do what they can to either help contribute and or work on getting funds from the state for that. So they're gonna kind of work with us to try to get the additional funding to make it work for them. So that's good. So they're on our team to try to find the funding. And I think the cost of the trail, you guys may know more than I do. I think it was like $1 million a mile is what it costs to make that trail happen. This part of it may be a little more expensive, but it not, you know, at least per mile. But at least they're on their side to get that. So that was also very encouraging. So I'm hoping that within the next month or a month and a half, they'll have the first initial design that we can look at. And then from there, things will speed up. So that's good news for us.
Mike, have we got anything? I know that's very good news on the Portland side for our extension piece.
Right?
Do we know where the eastern piece is that's going across the wetlands? I know that was moving
Remember that?
forward. I think
I
the
do.
plan was established and funded, but do we know what the schedule is to?
I think I heard
construct it?
next fiscal year.
Yeah.
I think that's what,
The,
I forget who told me that, but
I-
I,
Yeah, they haven't started because I was up there last week. I heard they got the money.
yeah,
And I believe you're right, it was gonna be done like they were gonna work on it in 26, like next spring and summer,
yes.
Okay,
20,
Yeah, that's what I heard. Spring is when they're supposed to start. And because it's a little more challenging, where they have to build a platform over the.
They have to move, basically power lines that are right in that little trough that goes through there. And then where these power line poles come up, it's almost like a stream bed. Like in rainy times, there's literally water coming through there.
Yeah.
So then they have to build a boardwalk over that wet area. So they haven't started moving the poles yet, which is gonna be the first step.
is it only power or is there also telco in there?
Looking at it, I'm not 100% sure, but it looked like just power.
I'll tell you what, if you're in there, if you can grab me a picture, that'd be great. So,
You got it.
Thank you.
I'll go up there, next few days.
only because if it's telco, then my folks would be involved and I want to give them a heads up, so.
Okay, all right, yep.
Speaking of power and poles, saw Ryan O'Halpern last night. He mentioned that one of his pet projects before he downshifted his role with us was removing some of the double poles on Main Street. Evidently, I didn't even notice it, but evidently the double poles have all been removed. So we drove into town last night and noticed that they're
Wow.
gone. So I don't know if you guys noticed either, but so very good.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was something that.
We've been working on it, Mike.
Ryan did Ryan O'Halpern, was he the guy that got the walkway signs across Breezy Corner Road for the trail?
No, that was just a DOT. That was just a project. I don't think he was involved in that. I think they
Oh.
were just, they've added that to different locations because it was unexpected.
'Cause that was a good thing. It'd be nice to have them on Middle Haddam Road
Yeah,
because that's almost more dangerous.
No, I
or
agree.
Equally as dangerous.
I agree. I'll reach out to them and see what would be involved in that. Speaking of Airline Trail again, I know, those of you, may have known that Lou about a year ago, asked for a $4,000 grant from AARP to build a parking area on Breezy Corners where the Airline Trail goes through. That's also one of the locations. We actually have that finished. And I think today was yesterday. Today they had, I think, 9 cars parked.
they had a hike there
Had a hike there, so.
with
it-
seniors.
Yeah, it was designed so, because if you go to the parking lot where we have, the entrance to the park now, it's a long walk to get to the trail. So the intent was to build something that people could drive and just go right to the trail. It's up there. We were able to do it creatively with, I think we only spent $3,000 so far and a lot of help. Francis was very helpful and getting that together. So shout out to him. He does a tremendous amount of things for you guys at the Brownsville Quorum. But he was very helpful in getting this thing done. Mike Mastrina, they'll be kind of touching it up if they need to, but Mike said for the most part, it looked great. So nice job with that. It's a small amount of dollars, but a big impact to the people that use it. So excited about that. So go Airline Trail, get out there and do it. So shout out to Matt Gata. Our sewer department's pretty small. It's normally two. And one of them has been on vacation. So Matt has been kind of running the plant down there over the last, I think, 10 days right now, by himself with help from Mike as needed. They had one issue on Sunday that Mike and I had to go down there as well. But he has done a great job with that. And he's done it with a smile on his face and that no problem attitude. So that is great. And that kind of thing, I think, is important to kind of demonstrate what Portland does. We don't have a big staff in any place. Everyone does multiple jobs, but it's nice to see that you can handle that. And I got to tell you, the man on vacation enjoyed not having to worry about it. So he's very happy about that. So anyways, so nice job on that. For those of you that have seen the chip sealing, been in the chip sealing part of town, that is done. I think Mike has to do a little more sweeping. Mike Lestrine has to do a little more sweeping. But the important thing about that was, for those that had chip sealing like I did when I first moved to town 25 years ago, I was mortified by all the rocks on the road, and it was just left there for weeks and weeks. They're doing it differently now, where they are putting the rock down, applying it, and then a couple days later, usually maybe even the next day in some cases, you're pulling that rock right up. So it is a lot less messy, a lot fewer problems. I had a number of people reach out to me when they heard that their street was tagged for it, concerned about it because of what they knew about it last time. I had no one call me and complain, upset about it afterwards. I reached out to some of them independently and they were happy with it. So hopefully they were being honest with me. But that was a good sign. So I drove on the road afterwards. It looked great, but that was a good sign.
I can
And-
tell you, it was a tremendous improvement
Yes.
over past years. They did my neighborhood.
Oh, they did your neighborhood?
Not my street, but in my general area.
Yeah.
There was so much less stone.
Yes.
Even after the day it was done.
Yes.
So much less stone.
Yeah.
And they did come back quickly and it was so much better.
100%. And for those that don't, we do chip sealing because it's the most economic way to maintain our roads. Paving is 4 to 5 times more expensive. So we do the best we can with the dollars that we have, but it does go a long way and it does work. They try to fill in the holes before they chip, so they do some prep work before then as best they can. But it's the most caustic. Would flap their arms.
Is it motion detector on the lights?
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
We used to have.
We're back.
An EdNet here.
Yes.
I don't know which.
I knew
side it was.
I guess it doesn't pick up mouth movement, huh?
I guess not. There's a
I
lot of
think it's right there,
right.
actually.
Need to be more animated.
I got to
Yeah,
move
yeah,
my
talk
hands,
like
right?
Italian.
I'm half Italian. Does that count? Half Italian and half
I
German.
can't
so.
say we don't do anything. We just don't do it with a lot of motion.
With a lot of emotion, exactly. So like I was saying,
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's chip sealing. That's great. Happy about that. And it was done in, I want to say 4 days. It was done pretty quickly getting it down there. So it was also time effective as well. So shout out to Bob Hetzel, just because he does so much stuff in town in addition to his business, but I think he just passed 80 years, 5 years with the Chester location. I think they just bought
Clinton.
Port Clinton.
Port Clinton.
Right, so congratulations, nice to see him doing that. But that is fantastic. Congratulations to him. Important for us all here, important for all of us here, send our movement.
Yeah.
So our first meeting at the library will be October 8th. We've been working on that for the last couple months. We'll be going there to test it out after our last meeting here, the last BOS meeting in September. It'll be set up similar to where we were before, but the tables will be kind of D'd in. So that way the camera and we can all see each other in the way that you're right now. It'll be a little more, so we'll be grouped closer together. I'll send the design to all of you tomorrow. We already have it figured out, but that's going to happen. And all the reasons we're moving, it's more accessible. It'll be a bigger space. More people can come to that. It'll also be a little safer. People won't be walking up here to get in.
You won't have that air conditioner.
And the lights will not turn off, yes. And I think the sound will be better as well, right? So
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff will work out. So that's coming up as well. Shout out to Pete for his help and Nick for getting it all together as well, right? We're gonna do it easy? All right, good. No problems the first night? Nothing. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Old Town Garage, I brought it up a couple meetings ago. We've had a pricing for cleaning it up and repainting it.
You want to specify so people know what? it
Okay,
is?
so the Old Town Garage behind the police department, Parks and Rec or whatever, it's an older building, terrible shape. It's effectively been condemned upstairs. You can't go up there because the stairs are dangerous. We're looking, and it's used right now for storage and some other things, but, and we are short of storage. So we had, Mike looked at it, had some people come out and price it out. And we've gotten 3 different quotes. We've gotten a quote for, just repainting it the way it is in place. Terrible idea. It's only 20,000, but it's still, we can't really do anything with it. It's falling apart. There's a lot of bad things. We can get by, but that was the cheapest and it just buys us time. $100,000, $200,000 about was the cost to, and again, it's only a couple quotes, but that's arranged to fix this up and, and modify it and kind of reinforce it and fix up as best we can, replacing all the bad wood. The next option was tear it all down and build a pre-designed storage bay, a little bit larger, I think 5 bays wide for about 400,000. And again, these are just rough numbers or whatever. We have to do a lot more. But the larger size would allow us to accommodate the vans and our town vehicles, as well as provide as much storage as we need. Storage is a premium. So I will bring back more information. I'll share that with you guys before, but I wanted to at least give you the shot over the bow that may be something we may want to look at in terms of storage space overall, protecting some of the vehicles that we have, and also increasing the number of parking spaces we have in that area as well. And that ties into the parking dilemma that we have in town that we need to look at before it becomes a problem. So
Before we look at that, are they gonna solve the flooding issue in that parking lot?
that's the other part of it as well. So
Yeah.
right now, the piping that's on there, one of the piping that drains out there is too small.
Yeah.
But in talking to Ryan O'Halpern and to Mike and to Rick before, that just replacing that pipe, I thought that might be the simple solution. Isn't going to be enough. There's multiple problems with that. So we do have to address that and make sure. I believe that building is just outside, or did it also flood?
I do not know.
Yeah, I think it was just in the area that it might be right in the edge of it, but I know the police department flooded and the senior center flooded. So that we have to look at that. So that's part of it as
I
well.
would assume if that, yeah, because it got into the basement of the.
Right.
So I would assume that it would get to this
Right.
building as well.
So it may be designed, it has to be up a little bit. There may be other things to doing that, but that's gonna be part of the equation. So whoever wants to help me with that project, I think you can help, but we do have some of the initials, but that got looked at. And I think it may be worth looking at doing maybe something that solves a bunch of problems at once. So I don't want to just do a $20,000 solution yet until we look at everything. So
That's just flushing money down the drain.
Yeah,
agree.
That's,
as I understand it, some of the joists aren't even touched,
It's structurally
but
uns-
structurally, it's not safe, right?
so painting it makes no sense.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's
And
what
You're gonna
really-
paint a condemned building.
And if
Yeah.
you're gonna spend, and if it's $200,000 to fix it up and replace stuff, and you still have the same footprint, and it doesn't really add that much. So I don't know, listen, I don't want advocate spending money we don't need to, but we gotta see how much of a need it is versus a want. And what does it satisfy and all that kind of stuff. So I welcome any input from the gentleman here. And if someone's watching out there that has a suggestion or knows about building and all that kind of stuff, you'll reach out, but that's the issue.
Well, and we can also look at different types of structures. We looked at a structure for the Route 17 complex. It was one of the add-ons.
Mhm.
That was in this case, it would have been a Morton building, which we've used.
Right.
And the price of that was about $100,000. That was not that probably would have been able to store, at least a few vehicles. So we could also look at a different style building if we
Mhm.
wanted to. That may be at least a less costly footprint that'll give us exactly what we need.
And then,
Because I think getting the equipment out of the weather, which we have a hard time doing now,
Right.
is beneficial.
I agree. I think there's a lot of reasons would it make sense, but we have to look at all the details and see what happens on that. So, and we have the space there. And even in the designs that they looked at for that area, we had a grant to look at what we could do for that. How could we modify it? That space was still open for something else like this. So, all right, very good. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I apologize. Met with Mayor Nasira from Middletown regarding the 250 committees. It's relevant. for a couple reasons. Our committee would very much wants to do stuff with their committee in terms of events next year. They have some pretty significant funding for their committee, for fireworks and other things, but also for marches and things like that. We're naturally connected in a lot of ways. But one of the things that came up a couple of days ago is Amanda Sarah invited me over there. We had talked a couple months ago about the lighting up the bridge project, right? We talked about that. And I think people have been chasing that like Don Quixote was chasing windmills, right? It's been talked about for years and years and years. We think there actually might be some momentum to make that happen with the 250 coming up. We've already talked to Susan Weissowitz. Mayor Nacera has already reached out to the governor and some other people involved with this. It's something that would only be possible if it comes from the governor's office in terms of suggesting, but there's several bridges in Connecticut that have that down in New Haven. I think the Founders Bridge has that. They have some lighting on there. So there is some things that have been done out there. We don't know what the costs are, but we're forming an exploratory committee on that. So there's already, I think, 5 or 6 folks from the Middletown side that they picked for their next meeting that they're going to nominate it. So if there's anyone on this board that'd be interested in that, excellent. Let me know. But that's something that I'm excited about personally. I know Ryan before me had really pushed for that. And
There was also a committee in town that was working on that
Yes.
about 5 years ago.
yes,
So-
and I also found something from the 1990s that they were looking at as well. So there's been a lot of people that put time and effort into this thing.
And technology's come a long way since then.
It's come a long way, and there's a
Yeah, with
couple
LEDs.
Yeah.
LED.
Solar powered.
Right.
Solar, yeah.
Right, and we may be able to maybe get a solar field that supplies the electricity for both our towns that offset.
And a lot of those bridges, years ago, they were talking about, lighting up
Right.
the length of it. A lot of the bridges now are just uplit.
Right.
Which doesn't take
Well,
a lot of bulbs to do
no,
it right.
well, not only that, though, I think some bridges, I think in Tennessee has a famous bridge, and what they do is someone could rent it out. You can rent out a strand or a section. If you're, let's say Bobby's dad has a birthday, and he wants to light a part of the bridge, right? So they've monetized doing things on the bridge if there's events going on. So there's things that you can do that are interesting that would also kind of help pay dividends also. Middlesex Chamber of Commerce is also there, and Johanna had mentioned some studies that show for every dollar you spend with something like that, and that's a big thing. It brings back tourists wise $6 to $7, and with all the activity in town. So there's a lot of ways that you can play it out that it makes sense, but we have a real shot to do it with the 250 coming up. So again, someone from this committee, if you're interested, that's great. But they're also gonna have exploratory committees in terms of how to monetize it and look at other things as well. So I'll keep everyone posted, but it was interesting to me. Again, the timing might be right, but again, it's gonna probably have to come from upper government in the state that says makes sense. We'll have to do fundraising, but they already have people on it that they think they get a significant dollars. So anyway, so there's a lot of activity in motion on this. So just FYI. So that one I'm excited about. 2 other things, LoCIP money. 2 projects we're looking on doing is the park entrance, which I know you guys have been wanting for a while. So that one is a go. We just have to get the paperwork done and work things out. We have one more price to get, and then doing the handicap parking at Agalotti Field. There's some parking that we want to put there as well. So they were earmarked before and they were just held back for other reasons, but those 2 green light, we just have to get the details together. I'll keep everyone posted on that as well, but that one's needed. We may have a little bit of extra dollars, but I don't want to plan on that yet. So that's it. Quick shout out, 5K Parks and Rec, road race is September 27th, but if you want a free t-shirt, you have to sign up by September 1st. And those t-shirts are very, very nice. Well worth a couple $100 in terms of the value, and free for you if you sign up before September 1st. So that's that. I have other things, but I will pass on quickly. So you're up. If you have anything.
Right. Yeah, the only updates I have are EDC didn't meet in August. They canceled their meeting, so the next meeting is September 9th. And Library Board of Directors meeting is tomorrow, and I'm going to attend that. And Jennifer, Library Director, sent out some information on some policies that they're updating on the collection and display and whatnot. So they're working on policy updates based on some statutory changes in this last session. And Senior Services, I couldn't attend, but their meeting is, no, I don't have it on here, but I'll be attending their next meeting when they hold it. And that's it.
Capital does not meet until the fall. And planning and zoning is quiet, no big applications before.
Got it. So I think we should start sooner with the budget season next year. One of the things about this last year's budget that I did is a lot of times a recommendation from the capital committee came in after a lot, so. I don't wanna
Everything's
do-
already decided before they're done.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
I don't want to do that this time. So let's do it sooner. You and I, let's talk about that and get it to, because I'd rather have that maybe October, November, whatever
Yes.
time we get it sooner, so we can talk about it and then build it into it.
They're still meeting like a week or two before the budget comes out.
Right.
So it's too late. It's already been decided. So I don't know why they're still meeting.
So I don't know if you need to
Yeah.
make changes.
Well, I think our past demonstrates why that's been the case. You know,
Right.
we haven't made the commitment to capital improvements and the investment in our future that was required for a lot of years.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
that's kind of part of that.
I agree. I agree. So, yeah, if you can make that happen, I'll work with you on that. We'll get it sooner, but that's great. That was on my to-do list. That's one of the things I did. So, too many things. Also, a special meeting next Tuesday, at the high school. I know there's a couple of people that can't make it. I'll be there.
Was that strategic capital?
Sweet.
Report event? You know, that report is available now.
Yes.
I don't know if people know that, but I just found out today because I
Yes.
emailed
Yes.
the superintendent and asked. They posted it on the website.
Yep, they should have sent it out to everyone as well. Did everyone get it in their email? Take a look at that. 'Cause I saw it.
I haven't seen it, but I'll.
But-
No, it never came until today when I asked for it. And I-
That's when I got it, was today.
Oh, did you
Yeah,
get?
I got the link today, so I got
Yeah,
one.
he sent me.
Did
a-
you get
a
it
link.
on your town email?
Yes,
I did not,
Oh,
cause I emailed him from my personal.
can you have Michelle send it
Yeah.
to us all?
check, I think she did.
You know, I think she sent it to you guys, or did I send it to you?
Oh,
I
no,
didn't-
guys, we got an email today from Michelle.
With the link.
It says special joint meeting of BOS,
Just
BOE.
the agenda.
And it's, yeah, but there's an attachment down at the bottom of that email that looks like it is the document. Here's a copy of the draft report.
Oh, she did follow up
Okay.
with that.
Okay, good, good.
Oh, special joint meeting, yeah.
So
There.
I've looked at it, we printed it out earlier today, but yeah, just be prepared before then.
Yeah,
I don't think
unfortunately, I'll be out of town
Okay,
so.
I'll resend it just to make sure. When I get, I'll stop by the town.
I
hall.
was planning to be,
But you and
here
I
for
can catch
that.
up afterwards.
Great, excellent.
Go over it.
Okay,
If you
Very
don't.
cool.
I'm gonna miss a September and October meeting, unfortunately, but
Got it.
I'm here next week
Got it.
and I'll be at the first September meeting, so.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Perfect, all right. Are we done with committee meetings? Let's move on. Public comments? Nothing?
Yeah.
Don Goen.
What's that?
John Dill?
Ongoing.
Oh,
Oh,
Don Goen.
Done. Absolutely. You've been waiting a long time.
You mentioned about the landing for the boat launch.
Yes,
I have a very large pile of granite. Some of the stones are very large and flat. When we built the house, when we built my son's house, we had a dynamite for the cellars. And you're welcome to that pile of stone. All you have to do is pick it up and move it.
it's a good deal.
And,
We'll have to find out what's involved or what's allowed, but if we can do it, I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
There's
Yeah,
there's
take a
some
look
very
at it.
large flat stones that would you could set in there and then fill small stones around it and wind up with a nice ramp.
That's great.
So
We appreciate it.
if you want to have someone take a look at it, just let me know.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. You get to use it now.
Yeah. Well, we both win. I get rid of the pile that's in the way, and you get a ramp.
I love win-wins.
Me too.
Don, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, and any
Yeah,
other
that was
comments?
good to know.
That's great to know.
Make a note of that.
Right. All right, number 11, Board of Selectmen General Performance Discussion. Anything else that we haven't covered?
Yeah, did we resolve the lease amendment?
So
Where are we at with that?
I didn't put it on the agenda today.
Okay,
And I was gonna add it to it, but I figured, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I sent everyone a copy of, the email that we got from Sean with regards to what his suggestions were. What was the feedback from, what was everyone's thoughts on that?
I would almost think, I don't know, I'd rather have a full
Executive
discussion on that in
That's-
executive
yeah.
session.
I
Okay.
just want to make sure.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't,
So,
didn't slip by
so
or.
I will tell you that, I mean, Sean, he would love to get it done sooner than later, because I know he wants to spend some money there. And obviously the 10 years, he's, I think we all had no issue with that. I think we all agreed that that's not an issue. What I will do if the board feels that way, is if I could tell him that we have no problem with that particular issue, if that helps him move forward with that. I can make that change now, and then we can discuss the rest of it. If that isn't an issue, I'm gonna check with Carrie, with our attorney as well, to see.
Well, that's right.
if we-
Wasn't she gonna review the town attorney?
She was.
Review everything we talked about?
Yes, she has it. I just haven't gotten, I just didn't have.
Okay,
her
so
send it.
then it's premature really to probably
Right.
talk about it.
Right,
now.
exactly, but
Yeah.
with that particular thing, with the 10-year one.
The,
I asked
the
her-
only thing I think I'd want to be careful about is there are some of those provisions that we talked about
Right,
that we were looking at potentially modifying, and this is again why I think we should do this in executive session.
Yeah.
That we can't extend it for 10 years before we have those discussions, so we
I
can't.
have no problem with that
execute
either.
again.
That's what
Yeah, I would, I think I'd wait.
I
We'll do it all at
completely
once.
I agree. I'm good with that too. All right, good. So let's put this as our next meeting.
Yeah.
We'll do executive session and we'll just get it done. by
Yes.
then. Okay, excellent. And I'll provide everyone with Carrie's response details. So ideally, I'll give you what I think makes the most sense for Carrie, and then we'll discuss it, finalize it, and get it done. All right. Very good. That was easy.
I have a couple, what I hope is quick. What is the status of the sidewalks on Main Street?
It's funny you should ask that. So we got the bids in. We have selected a contractor to do that as of a couple days ago. For you. So we have a contractor that we've chosen. I don't want to reveal it yet because we're still waiting to check all that, but we do have a bidder on that. We have the designs already been done. Homeland and Highland streets were the adults. The bid that he gave us was phenomenal. It may even give us some extra dollars to do. A
That's
decent
the
amount on
Waverly
Main Street.
extension,
What's that?
Waverly extension sidewalk. You said we talked extra
We-
dollars may go there.
Right, well, we may even have money for that, but the Main Street, from Walgreens down, that's one of the adults as well that we're looking at. But yes, we did get that. The bid was from High Street, from the school down, to Williams. The bid for that was excellent.
I know about.
Yeah, that's for the one that, yeah.
Okay.
But no, but it good, so we do have that, it's good. We did have another bid opening, or we had it scheduled for the solar project I talked about. A couple times, we had no bids on that. So that was one of the things, kind of a bummer this week. But we're gonna see what we can do to kind of get it out to the marketplace again.
You had no, solar company?
Yeah, no solar companies bid on it. We put it out there. It was for that another 1 megawatt system. Someplace in Eversource property in the state, similar to the same size as the landfill one that we have. But we didn't get a response to that. Part of it's from some of the pushback with what's going on nationally with the solar incentives going away. So that's one of the reasons that.
Well, I'm working with a guy from, Fairfield County. I'm doing a solar project. And if you want, we can talk about it tomorrow or something. If you want to give me some of the details, I'll give you the guy's name and number, because we're in the process of signing a contract, like,
I would
and he's
absolutely-
gone home, so.
100%.
Okay.
We'll talk to
So
later. Yeah,
maybe, he probably wasn't aware of, and he
I,
does commercial, he
Yeah.
does, which would kind of be at town level,
Right.
you know what I mean? He doesn't just do residential, he does big stuff.
no, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll send them all the docs that we put out there.
I'll talk to you tomorrow or after the meeting.
Perfect. That's excellent. So,
So that'll start
um,
in the next couple months.
before then, I'm hoping that we can start within the next 5 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So, we should be able to get some of the paperwork done. Again, most of the engineering's been done, so it should be set. But I'll have a better idea within a week. So,
Do we have a delivery date for the new fire engine yet? Engine two?
Do not, I do not, I'll check, I don't even know, not sure.
One thing I want, and I know they were saying September, fall sometime,
Right.
that it was supposed to be this year. We talked in the past about keeping the old one, the old engine two.
Right.
Putting some work into it and having it as a spare for the entire town, so it wouldn't be a first response, but if one of ours goes down,
Right.
we don't have to borrow from another town
Right,
again.
like East Hampton or whatever.
Yeah,
right,
so I wanted to make sure that we keep that in mind when we do that.
I'll check with Rob.
All right. And the water main on High Street. That is complete.
Birmingham has done all the work so far that was under the contract, but we have $100,000 left. We're waiting for the state to approve us spending that additional money, because we have to give it back if they can't do it. And it's been just a comedy of errors. The people at DOT that would normally approve it are on vacation, and they've gone like this. So we should have an answer. I had an email right before I came here tonight where they reached out to the last contact to approve it. So we may know by tomorrow. And once they get the green light, we've got all the paperwork ready to go. Just have to get them and figure out a date where they would start up and finish up. We have to use, not have to, but Birmingham, because of the contractor, we can't change contractor. And we had some issues with that and some of
I was
the,
gonna say, we couldn't add it to phase two next year.
the grant self, we use the one that we have right now. You can't push it to another one. Yes.
So we're stuck with it.
Yeah, well, yes. So that's part of but we don't want to give it back to, but this time, now that we know of some of the issues that we had, we could at least make sure that it's handled, and with our new public works director also on
Yeah.
board, I'll make sure that he's on top of that as well. So, because I think that's a very legitimate reason, so.
Yeah, because there was a lot of red flags for the work that they did.
Yeah.
The best part of it is whatever landscaper they used did a great job
I think, they did a very good job.
fixing the lawns and stuff, but
Yeah.
everything they did, I think, was horrendous.
Yeah, there's a lot of mixed feelings about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but we hopefully will know by this week, whether it's a green light. It should be, they have all the incentive in the world to get more done. That'll just get us closer down. And then next year, when we do phase two, we might be able to go even farther. So we got $1 million to play with next year.
When does phase two go out to bid?
It won't be till probably spring of next year, because we have to do it next summer.
What is phase two, Gus?
So the project, the working right now, the project right now on High Street is phase one. It was bid in 2023, so it was 2 years ago. It's finally being done. We're spending the money, the 600,000, whatever the total dollars was. Phase two, where we got that $1 million steep there, we had to put $200,000 up. That one, we got it, but that won't be until next year. So that one we're trying to time, so it's, on summer vacation with the school year, so they can get it all done, they think, during that time.
But where are they going? What
They're
section of
gonna
height?
continue farther, they're gonna continue going down High Street.
Okay, they're not going down from High to William this year?
Well, we may,
Or-
with the money we have left from phase one.
Yeah.
Like Birmingham did a bunch of stuff on High Street now, but they did it so efficiently that, that there's like 100,000. I know, I saw that. I can see that.
There's a reason they did it.
So you be careful, right? So, but yeah, so there's extra money left over in the grant, and the way the state does it is if you don't spend it all, and they're very flexible on adding additional work as long as it's within the scope of the job or continuing, you have to give it back. And it's more than 100, it may be $160,000. And we want to continue to work. So we've waited for DOT to approve it. We have the design plan to go further. But because of some snafus at their end, we can't. But it's going to continue all the way down until we get to William Street and then maybe beyond. But this one, I think we can get probably another 100 feet, maybe 150 feet is the plan. And then they stop there. There's one place where there's two, I think it might actually be close to your dad's place, where there's 2 fire hydrants that are active.
Mhm.
Once we are able to, once we get
One's
the
the
word,
old system, one's the new
yeah,
system.
they're both live, but once we get the word from DOT, then we can close that off, move it down, and then it's officially done in that area. Well, we just have to wait. So we're kind of sitting on our hands waiting for them to tell us what to do. Now, but next year, the grant we just got, that will be next summer. And that's phase two, and that's like $1.2 million worth of work, and that should get us well down the road. And if we get a jump on it this year, we maybe be able to even get more done, maybe even onto William Street. Yeah.
Has there ever been any talk of extending the sewer line in that area?
That's a tough subject.
That's a tough.
It is, but
I've asked and
yeah,
it just gets shot down in 5 seconds.
it's, yeah, I don't think it's gonna get shot down now because we gotta look at all that. There's a lot more discussion about water and sewer and expanding out from Portland and also regionally. The state is more interested in maybe doing regional plans right now. So that is something that I think is gonna play into the next year or so.
Well, this is the thing, everything from Bartlett Street all the way to 66 has city water, city sewer, except that side of High Street, Butler, Clearview, Brooks, and Scenic, and William Street. For some reason, they avoided sewer in that neighborhood.
Do we know
It
why?
got yes.
Yeah.
It got voted down. I lived on Brooks Lane,
Really?
and this was in the 80s. And there was a proposal to put sewers up through there in Clearview, and
Said no.
I don't want to say the name, but one family that had quite a few properties in that neighborhood led a charge
Really?
to kill it. I was so ticked off, that was one of the reasons I moved out to the country,
Really?
because I was tired of having a septic tank in a low-lying area
Well,
that,
I brought it up when this project was first talked about. Well, if we're gonna pave the road when the project's done, now is the time to put in sewer line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, we don't want to do it. We don't want any more sewer customers and move on.
just seems counter
Do you know what?
to me that
did
if you wanted.
I don't know.
Well.
And I brought it up, so I'm like, this is the perfect time. That whole neighborhood was built in the 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
So every house there is older with older systems.
Right.
And it just made sense that now is the time to put it.
There was a house on Brooks Lane that every time it rained hard, their septic was overflowing onto the street.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And
That
yeah,
sounds bad.
yeah.
That's not good.
Oh, yeah.
That's
There
interesting.
was-
So I
Back
wonder-
then, the town was very parochial and small-minded in their thinking.
So, what would be the reason? Why was there such pushback from that one family on?
Oh.
Wait, is it a long story?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk over.
We shouldn't
offline
talk
there.
about it
No,
here.
no problem. I'm just curious. So things like that don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It seems like a waste, especially now, because now to do it, it's gonna cost a lot more.
Hindsight is always 20/20.
100%.
Well, once you pave the road, it'll never be put in.
That's right.
Right. So I don't know if we can even change the grant for next year, or we add something to it, or we get additional, I don't know.
But
So I gotta
do
find
we,
out.
I guess the bigger question is, do we want more sewer customers? I mean, it would seem to me, if you had more customers, we might have a better chance of being profitable.
Right,
Yeah.
Right.
But that's the real,
right.
When they paved the lower part of William Street to Main Street last year, I brought it up because they paved from Scenic down to Main. The sewer comes up William Street like 3 houses
Yeah.
because the homeowner put it in and extended it to the third
So
house.
they paid for it themselves.
Yes. So I said, well, why don't we bring that sewer line up to Scenic? And then you can pave the road. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. All right, it doesn't make any sense.
I'd like to see it all the way up to, at least up to the corner of High and
That's what I
William.
said. You-
Right.
Put it as far as you're paving for now, and then you can extend it more later.
Right.
But once you pave the road, it's
Try to
never
seal it up,
going
right?
in.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna rip up a brand new road to put in a sewer line.
Or if you do and patch pave it, people are gonna lose
It's
their
gonna look
minds.
horrible.
Yeah.
So,
Well, now's the time to talk about it, then maybe we have time to do something about it for next year.
Well, that's
I would ask the new public works director and Ryan
Dave
O'Halpin,
Halpern.
what's their opinion
What's
on
it
it
gonna take.
for cost and benefit.
Yeah, and if there's a concern in terms of like current capacity because of how we're operating.
Right.
The fact is we're also looking at projects to take some of the illegal connection the connection that should have been removed. I won't say illegal, but the connection that should
That's
have
the
been
biggest thing
removed.
to look into is
Yeah,
we're treating
what
Yeah,
does
we're
we're treating
treating
non,
stormwater,
exactly.
that's not-
Yeah.
If we clean some of that up, that functionally adds more capacity.
We're
So,
also looking at other ideas to enhance, expand our sewer plant in general, so.
Yeah.
Additional users, wouldn't that potentially give a better argument And more capacity?
Would seem to me, yeah.
More users to share the cost of the
Right. I
infrastructure.
mean,
absolutely.
as a rough estimate, how much stormwater is getting into our?
I think we'd actually have to do and have a different it's not a good conversation here. We'd have to
No, no, I
prep,
understand.
prep for that one,
Okay,
but.
okay.
But we shouldn't be treating any.
No,
But
but
no,
exactly.
but no,
should be
like we
zero.
have-
Yeah.
Right, right, we have a storm drain that we know from, a business that's still interconnected.
Do we want to discuss this at our next meeting?
It's actually a good conversation probably to have with our public works ahead of that
Okay.
and,
Yeah.
and prep of that. There needs to
And
be
I
some
would
prep.
think, I mean, if we're gonna have that conversation, talk with the Public Works, and I'd like to have them here.
The longer it goes unaddressed,
Mhm.
we just
Right.
keep treating stormwater
Right.
Yeah.
that we shouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah, and we see it, we see it at the
So-
plant. What I hear is that we see it at the plant. You get a heavy rain and you see, the flow rates are going up. We know we're processing rainwater, so.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we, for the next meeting that we have, why don't we make that one of the topics? And I will invite Mike, I'll invite our public works director. We'll prep them between now and then, but let's talk about that and be prepared to.
This is something you might want to also ask either Ryan or Mike Mastrino to
Of
be
course.
here, because,
Absolutely.
I mean, Jason's important because he's in the role now, but he doesn't know all the
No, no.
backstory and
Doesn't have the
what else is
history.
going on.
Actually,
I'm sure
Ryan and
unless he's
Mike would
traveling,
pick
he'd
up-
be happy to be here, so.
Ryan and Mike would pick up
Yeah.
on two sides of their knowledge and their involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And honestly, that'd be good for Jason to see that, and it gives him something to look at and dive into this part of it, so. No, I agree. So I'll add that to the agenda next time, so.
Thank you for the discussion, Bobby.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, and we got to do it now. We've got, again, we have a lot of things. I know that's why much, we have a lot of things going on. Now's the time we got to be thinking about all this stuff. We got to make sure we have the capacity to handle all this.
Is there, grant money out there for like water and sewer projects? Well, I know we got a grant for the water
Right.
project, but it's on the sewer side, like we never talk about that, but
Yeah.
maybe there's.
No,
money
we're gonna have to, just because we have an aging. sewer
We have an
project.
aging system
and
and
we,
you
you
heard
know.
from the business, we both
Oh, yeah.
did from the business
That's
community.
what they want.
That's what they wanted. And I don't know, me as a resident and like Bobby.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods like that where you are, where the sewer line is close or up near the high school, I mean, that sewer line should completely
Yeah.
cover that area.
But I appreciate you sharing why it's not there, because I never really
I
understood
can
why
tell you
that
some
gap.
Good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
But when it was originally put in, it only went the other way because that's the way the schools went. So it went from the high school down past Valley View and Gravity the rest of the way. So when it went the other way, all that was undeveloped when those schools were built. So they were like, oh, it's fields, it's woods, we don't need it right now. But in the 80s, it was brought up and shot down.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. All right, well, now we can correct it or try to correct it, so. All right, good. This is great. Anything else at all? Any other informal?
I
Sometimes
only
it
had,
pays to have us old timers.
It always paid. for
It always, absolutely.
The only thing I-
You guys know stuff.
the only thing I wanted to add an informal discussion, I know we talked a little bit about the concert series. I also wanted to say thank you. For the entire series, we had the CERT team and we had EMS there. So CERT was helping with the parking and keeping folks safe. And we had EMS that was there in case anything, transpired, which when you had, again, given the heat and everything else, thank you to both those groups as well.
Don, if you're still on the line, thank you.
So.
That's good. Anything else?
You're welcome. Oh, you are
He's
still
there.
there.
There you go.
There.
There you go. Yeah, we're stopping by in a couple hours to grab some of the granite that you have.
Yeah.
So. Good stuff. All right. Follow-up items, ethics ordinance. Not prepared to talk about that tonight. I did review my town charter, our town charter. Since last time, did anyone else get a chance to look at it and review it?
I will confess, I did not have the
Yeah, I
opportunity
did
to do
not.
that.
All right. No problem.
But-
So,
Okay, go ahead.
no, so the only thing I will point out though, because I went through and looked at all the different parts of this, and some of the stuff, I had to kind of look back at some previous charter revisions to see why they were changed and all that kind of stuff. So I have a much better idea looking at it with the intent of checking every single thing and understanding it. So as you go through it yourselves, please look at it and try to understand maybe why it's the way it is now versus before. For example, in there, we don't have any social services department anyways. It's part of the charter. but it's built into the library, it's built into the senior center, it's built into youth services. And that change, I think, was made no, I'm sorry, it was made like 20 years ago. When the last time they did that, they made a change on that to remove that department, but spread it out. So as you're reading it, just look at maybe some of the history there. And there weren't a whole bunch of things in here that I would change, except for some of the money things, where what was worth $10,000 back in, 20 years ago, the value of that money is maybe $17,000 or $18,000. So as I looked at it,
What I was like, Sean brought up last year was the spending amount.
right,
Yeah.
exactly,
We were stuck at, what was it, $350?
right.
You can't buy anything for that the town needs.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
And,
So
and why do you want to spend $400 going through a bid process to buy a $350 item?
Well,
Yeah.
and the original charter was 83, they waited 10 years, and then they did it in 93, 10 years, and after that was 2 years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And then the last one was done in 2004. So we are due to do that. You're due to make the change. So anyways, I found it very interesting too, going through this thing. I did have our intern Liam kind of look at it as well, and he was reading, going, why did he do that? What's going on with that? So I'll read through that, and let's plan on doing that perhaps at the next meeting as well.
Do you have these copies like that kicking around the
I do,
town
I do.
hall?
I'll get a couple for it. Does
Okay,
anyone
yeah.
need one of these at all?
I would like
Okay.
one of those. I don't like
I think
reading
it's in the book.
online.
It should be in all the books that were out there, but if you don't have it, I have a couple of these and I'll make sure I get it out to each one of you guys.
Okay.
So, or just stop by the town hall and I'll make sure it's in your slot there. But it is worth looking at. There's a lot of detail in there too, in terms of how the meetings are done and the reasons why and all that kind of stuff. So it's very comprehensive. They've done a good job. You tell a lot of thought was put into this, but I found it.
There's
much
a
more
lot of
fascinating.
little things that are just updating and bringing it up to today's
Mhm.
standard
Right.
specs. is what it
Right.
is.
And then the other question is there anything that's missing in there? For example, like, is there anything that we should have in there that other towns have? So that's the one level I didn't go into. I didn't look at a lot of other town charters, but
When you talk about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's woven throughout there that talks about typewriters versus computers,
Well-
telecommunication, all that has all changed since that was done last.
so I'll give you a great example of that. So in there, it talks about noticing. It says noticing a newspaper of significant circulation. They don't have as many newspapers now, right?
Right.
River East, it's the Middletown Press, and that's where they make a lot of their money, right? Is just notices. So there's nothing about other ways of advertising
Right.
or putting it out there, social media, whatever, website.
Eventually, those are gonna be gone.
Right, exactly. So I think that's an area that I identified.
Probably
because
should
that's a very
update that. That's a good point.
Mm.
Yeah, so things like that, exactly, like
Yeah.
you look at the time and how things are noticed and the whole bit, so, yeah, so very interesting.
Interesting.
So, and they don't talk about, if you have a meeting, it's 5% of the people that show, like, you have certain minimums, 5% of the town voting population has to be there in order to pass certain referendums.
Well,
But there's nothing-
everybody's watching us online.
That's exactly right.
That wasn't considered back then.
And how do you police that? How do you tell
Right.
that they're actively listening?
Exactly.
It's there. So those are the kind of things that I found interesting. So anyway, so we'll do that next time, but I enjoyed it. It was much more enjoyable than I thought it would. I thought it'd be a slug through, but it was actually very interesting. So and with that, we're up to the adjourn the meeting part.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No, second though.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. We are adjourned. Very nice meeting, gentlemen. Thank you.